Hi, I'm Trent Goodmanson. It's been a really long time, about 4 months now, since I've made a video for this channel. I guess I could just say I've enjoyed summer so much, and I've been painting so much that I didn't. Okay, there's no excuse. It's just kind of a hard habit to get back into once I've laxed, gotten lax in that. Anyway, I've been busily at work. I've been painting a lot. Things have changed a little bit with shutdowns, of galleries. I shouldn't say shut down. Temporarily shut down. None of my galleries have closed, but things have been a little bit different. Not bad though. It just seems like I can't even put my finger on it really. I haven't gotten as many sales in galleries, but I have made more sales than usual just locally. People have asked me to do commissioned work for them, specifically for them, and it's been a lot of fun. Sometimes it's not traditionally it's not been my favorite thing to do. It's not as much fun sometimes to be directed, but I can honestly say I've really enjoyed these ones. So I've been really lucky to have found people who have found me, I guess I should say, that have allowed me a lot of creative control, and even with the suggestions that they've had, and the outcome has been really fun. Anyway, I wanted to talk real quick about getting in galleries. This is a question that's popped up quite a few times over the years as I've talked to people. It's something that I would have loved to have heard, and still love to hear from other galleries, from other artists about how they've gotten in galleries. It is timely for me because I am currently looking at expanding my gallery representation. I don't actually show any of my work back east. I've always shown in the West. I have five galleries that show my work, but it's all actually basically the Southwest and California. And nowhere else, not even in my home state of Idaho or nearby state of Utah, do I have any permanent gallery representation. So that may need to change. Idaho and Utah specifically, because they're so close. Or the art centers are so close. Obviously Idaho's close because I'm in it. But so I specifically, I'll get right into specifics. Someone asked, do I just, well, without reading it, the gist of it was, do I just kind of find galleries that look good and approach them with it, or do I do some research? Well, the quick answer is, yeah, I do some research, but it doesn't have to be as in-depth as you might think. Basically, galleries have websites, and if they don't have a website, at least they have Instagram or some kind of presence. But I actually personally like to seek out the ones that have an online or an actual website. And I like to see that it's upkept and doesn't necessarily have to be sleek and modern. Doesn't have to be designed well, although that's a plus. But it seems to be my first impression of the gallery. Even if I've been there in person and they have kind of a bad website, and this can be taken personally too, because I want to apply this personally. But going back to the gallery, even if I like them and yet they have a bad website, my impression of them is diminished. And so applying that to myself, I need to make sure that my website as an artist either gives a good impression or reinforces the good impression that they might have had of me if they met me in person the first time. Does that make sense? So I don't want to have anybody think less of me because I have a poorly designed website or an out-of-date website, which I really need to work on. I don't think mine is poorly designed, but I think it is well, I know it's a little out of date. It's been several months actually since I put anything new on that. I've been more active on Instagram than anything lately. Anyway, so I go to the website of the gallery and I look at, since I'm a painter, I have interest in sculpture and doing sculpture, but I haven't as yet done that. So as a painter, I'll just click on the Usually it's under the tab that says artists, and sometimes they'll have it divided by, painters, sculptors, jewelry, whatever. So I'll click on painters, just look at the general overview. I like to see that they have just an example from each artist. I think potential buyers, well, as a buyer of art myself, I like to see a quick overview. And it's pretty easy to tell if your work would fit in a gallery based on subject. In other words, if you're looking in Montana or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or let's say Tucson, Arizona, and this is, I'm really generalizing. I know especially in Santa Fe and Tucson, there are lots of places that have just a huge variety. Even Jackson Hole itself is a small town, but it has so many galleries, and it's a range from super Western to ultra modern. So I don't want to overgeneralize, but say for example, Jackson Hole, that does kind of have an overwhelmingly Western vibe, at least with a lot of the galleries there. If I don't paint Western scenery, and I see that particular gallery that I'm looking into overwhelmingly has that kind of stuff, cowboys, Indians, horses, pioneers, things like that. And if I don't do that, then, and if that's pretty much all they have, or pure landscapes, which I do, but that's not really my main focus at the moment. I can gather two things from that. Either my work might fit in there because it's so different. That can be true, or more likely, oh gosh, it's pretty obvious that they only specialize in cowboys, Indians, that type of thing, Western stuff, and so my work at the moment probably would not be a good fit. So I think it's kind of like the 80-20 rule there. If it looks like they're nothing but a particular style or a genre, then 80% chance that they won't want to take on other stuff. But 20% chance, I've actually gotten in galleries like this. The one I'm currently in Santa Fe, New Mexico, is like this. They took me on because I was different, in fact. I'll talk about that in a minute. That can be a good thing, and other times it can work against you. Anyway, so you want to, I know I'm giving a really long, drawn-out answer to this question, but hopefully more information is better than less. Take what you want from it and leave the rest. Basically, you want your work to not stand out too much. You want it to stand out because it's different within that same genre. I am looking, I won't tell you exactly where I'm looking, but I'm looking in an eastern state, particularly for a gallery that carries work, figurative work that is slightly experimental, or at least open to the experimental side. And most of the ones I've found that carry that work also have some that do stand out. They'll have still life artists and pure landscape, really traditional is what I was going to say, which again I do, but where that's not my focus and that's not what I'm trying to sell them on right now. Anyway, that might be a good gallery for me to get into. Okay, super long answer. Sorry about that. The next thing I'll look at is do they seem to market themselves well? Do they know how to market besides just having a website and having their gallery open? If that's all they do, they're not going to be in business long, just from my own experience. The world is changing. If they're still stuck in that mindset that just having a brick and mortar gallery and a website is, kind of build it and they will come idea, they're not going to stick around. They've got to get in on social media, on organizing events, or at least, or if not organizing themselves, there's got to be some track record of them having shows or participating in shows. Bringing their artists out into the community, or the community into their artists, in to see the artists. So there's got to be some action, something happening there. I like to see that they're kind of on top of things. They're go-getters. These are not in any particular order. These kind of just seem to be not in order of importance, but they are in order of what I look at. Just kind of one impression leads to another. I say that because probably most importantly is that they pay on time, and kind of as a subset of that, whatever, as part of that, do they pay quickly? And I know that nowadays there are a lot of galleries that don't pay what I would call quickly, and frankly I don't think it's fair. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a sound business practice to make artists wait up to 45 days for their check when they themselves have gotten their money and have, are sleeping on it, are maybe even spent it long before I've ever gotten a check. I don't like that. And I'm not afraid of saying I don't like that. People who, I did the work to get the painting, they did the work to sell it. We both did our work. We should both be paid at the same time. As soon as their check clears their bank, that check should be in my half of it, or my portion of it, should be in the check, in the mail to me immediately. I've worked with galleries that do that. They'll actually, one of them, love them. They'll, as soon as a painting sells, they'll write the check, my portion of it, immediately to me and pin it on the wall. They'll wait 3 or 4 days, whatever it takes, or sometimes up to a week, to ensure to find out that their bank has cleared that check. In other words, the money really is in their account. And they'll take that off the wall and stick it in the mail right to me. And 10 days after it's sold, max, usually more like 5 days, I've got my money. And that's always nice. So pay quickly. They actually have to pay. They have to pay on time. I currently, won't tell you who it is, I currently work with a gallery. I haven't sent them new work in many years, in fact. They're nice people. They really are. But they do not pay on time. They've lost records. Anyway, I don't want to slander anybody. Please don't even go on my website. Don't even try to guess which one it is, because that's their only fault. They're nice people, but it doesn't matter how nice they are. If they don't pay on time, I can't, as a business person, as a business owner, I can't work with somebody like that. Granted, I did tell you I've been working with them for years, haven't sent them work for years. That's the reason, but I haven't felt quite ready to burn that bridge completely, or to sever that relationship. So my plan going forward is to get in these new galleries. Oh, well, I should tell you what happens next. So once I've vetted this portion of questions just on my own, then I'll do some actual more active research. I will call or email, whatever. Try to call if possible. Usually, actually, if I email an artist, nowadays people are so used to being direct messaged or whatever on Facebook or Instagram that if they actually get a real email to their actual email address, they'll pay attention, and they'll usually write right back, especially if they know that I'm an artist and I ask a legitimate question instead of asking for free advice or something like that. Usually I just get a call back within 3 or 4 hours from these artists. I'll just, my purpose being, do they pay on time? And that's really the only way to answer that question. And do they pay quickly? Some of them tell you how quickly they pay. even on their websites. But the way to find out if that's the truth or not is to ask the artists that they work with. I would definitely just follow your gut with. You don't have to get all good reviews from the artists that you call, but I would place more weight on the opinions of those that have worked with them for a long time and who have had nothing but good to say. But I would also caution against listening to the ones that just tell you how great of people they are, and they say, well, sometimes they take a while to pay, or there's been this one thing, but they're just such nice people. Well, like I said, I've worked with really nice people, and if they don't pay, it's on time, or if there's some issue that comes up or has come up in the past that I don't know. Just it's kind of like dating. They say keep your eyes wide open when you're dating and half shut once you're married. I would say the same thing with be really, really picky before you sign on with a gallery, and be really forgiving afterwards, to a point. Be as forgiving as you hope that they will be of you. I think that's a great way to live life. Again, to a point, you can't tolerate dishonesty at all, but there are lots of things that happen that are, late payments occasionally happen, and they're totally forgivable. You just call them up and say, hey, what's up with that? And they'll give you the story, and you have to realize that, yeah, they're a business, but they're also real people, and, things happen sometimes. And if they're not trying to pull one over on you, not trying to lie to you, then that should be a really quickly forgivable action or whatever. So yeah, anyway, do your research on the gallery, find out if they're honest. If they are, you are okay with how they pay, how quickly you've become a little bit familiar with how they work with artists. People like them, they're go-getters. Then, well, it's pretty easy actually. Sorry, I'm getting texts here, so I'm removing them. So you just a lot of times they'll actually tell you how they prefer to receive submissions from artists. Follow it to the T. Some of them are really, really harder than others. Some say just send us an email and with your website address. Gosh, that's just as easy as could be. Other ones tell you to, it's like instructions on writing a thesis or something. Write this many pages, tell us exactly these things. You can actually probably be assured that those are the galleries that are getting so many submissions from other artists that they don't really have time. They're like pre-vetting. They're trying to make it difficult to apply, so that if you're one of the ones that's going to stick to it and go through the effort to get your work in front of them, then yeah, they're happy to give their attention to you for a moment or two. You have to realize that probably your resume is worth. It's only worth something to them if they like your work. It all boils down to. Well, I should change the answer. It's not about whether they like your work or not, as much as it is, do they think that it'll work with their gallery? Do they think they can sell it? After all, they are a business. The reason I say that, and it's really important to remember, is you might have, they might turn you down flat without any reconsideration. It only takes, your favorite artists, or you know what you like and you know what you don't like, and it doesn't take you long. You don't have to reconsider every time you see something that you don't like. You're like, do I now like this, even though I've always, shied away from that, even just a few days ago? No, you kind of just know what you like. And same thing with gallery owners, or whoever they have on board to make those decisions. it won't take them long, and they might get back to you within 5 minutes on an email and say, no, it's just not for us. And you also have to be aware that they may not get back to you at all, because they're probably going through 10 or 20 or maybe 100 applications from artists, or requests from artists to look at their work, maybe just that day. And they may not even have seen it. So be prepared for that. But if they see it and they don't like it, or it seems like they don't like it, it's not because your work is bad. There is a place for just about everyone's art. In fact, I'd say there's a place for everyone's art. And amongst the top galleries, there's a place for a lot of different styles. There's not a place for everyone's art in the top galleries. They have standards that they personally set, and out of all the thousands, maybe millions of artists in the world, there's just not room for everybody. But that doesn't mean you can't make a living at it. And there are plenty of other ways to sell your art other than galleries. Some artists make way more money selling their work on their own than galleries, and they consider it a complete waste of time to be with galleries. I've kind of gone the gallery way my whole life, and have only relatively recently, the past few years, really tried to push my work on my own. And I'm lucky I did, because during these trying past couple of years, a lot of my income has come from, like I said, my own efforts on Instagram and social media. And people just locally or regionally hired me to do work for them. So I guess get a thick skin is what I'll say last. Be prepared for lots and lots of no's. And if you really want to get in a gallery, which would be awesome, because they do the work for you. Yeah, they take a big percentage, but you don't have to be out there beating the street all the time. They're working for you, and I think they really earn their commission. So if they promote you, they're excited about you, they are excited about your direction, and are always wanting to see what new work you're putting out, they're excited about it, you want a partner in this with you. You don't want any gallery to say, well, that's nice, but give us this. Gosh, I could talk a lot longer about this, but this is getting a little bit long. So I've kind of given you the basics: how to approach a gallery, what to look for. You're kind of interviewing them as much as you perceive they're interviewing you. They're not really interviewing you. They're just looking at your art and making a quick decision. And then they'll start to find out more about you. They'll ask a lot of the same questions of themselves about you as you are about them, but you're making the first move, so you're doing all your research ahead of time, and finally making the contact. Whereas they're just the opposite. They're seeing the work first through an email, and then they'll kind of look you up, find out about you. So make sure that your website is good, just like you want theirs to be good. And they'll probably like to see that you've done some things too, and that you're kind of a go-getter. And they'll probably want to talk to some of the galleries or other artists or event organizers that you might have worked with in the past. Maybe not. Maybe sometimes they'll take a chance on you based on just your work, and a good professional and friendly phone conversation goes a really long way. Or if you're good at writing emails and you come across as friendly and professional, then that really goes a long way towards helping them kind of get an idea of who you are. They don't want to work with a jerk or somebody that doesn't fulfill obligations or expectations. Just kind of treat them the way you want to be treated, and be the kind of person that you would want to work with if you owned a gallery. Okay, well, I will stop for there. I've given you probably too much information as it is. But I'll talk to you again soon. Feel free to ask questions. Yeah, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've made a lot of mistakes, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and not have to make them yourself. All right, I'll sign off for now. We'll see you next time. Bye.